Hi, Connor Gunn here from Lethbridge News Now. Welcome to the weekly from LNN, where we go over some of the biggest stories of this past week and what you can look forward to this weekend. Lethbridge police have charged 10 people in a human trafficking investigation. Police first learned that a 15-year-old girl has been selected, groomed, and brought to various locations. Those accused has also been engaging in sexual activity with a 13-year-old. LPS says there may be more victims, and among those charged are a business owner, a physician, and a youth. 8 people are currently in custody, and officers are still looking for 2 others. For more details, including the list of names of the accused, go to lethbridgenewsnow.com. The Alberta government is walking back its decision to eliminate isolation requirements for people who test positive for COVID. Dr. Dina Hinshaw says the government will also extend a masking mandate for public transit and continue testing and tracing. All public health restrictions were scheduled to lift on Monday, but will now stay in place for another 6 weeks. This is due to an increase in non-ICU hospitalizations and data on pediatric cases linked to the Delta variant. Restrictions will also be extended for the coming school year, with staff and students are required to screen daily for symptoms, and if they test positive, they will have to isolate. In the first 5 months of this year, 25 people in Lethbridge died from drug overdoses. The latest Alberta Substance Use Surveillance Report shows this number rising from last year, as succumbed 17 people to overdoses in the same period in 2020. That gives Lethbridge a rate of drug poisoning deaths more than 2.5 times the provincial average. In the first quarter of 2021, there were 473 visits to Chinook Hospital, and as a result of drug use accounting for 4% of all hospital visits. Nurses protested outside of Chinook Regional Hospital Wednesday in opposition to proposed wage cuts. Margie Eames with United Nurses of Alberta says the double whammy of AHS's deal and stress from the pandemic has been too much to handle, calling the offer disrespectful. More than 100 people took part in the protest to show their support and opposition, and Finance Minister Travis Taves recently asked for a 3% wage cut and cited rising debt as well as a need to find efficiencies. Gas prices will largely depend on how much of an impact the Delta variant has on the economy. That's according to Dan McTeague with Canadians for Affordable Energy, who says the variant has caused concern around demand as it slows reopening plans in parts of the country. The cost of crude oil peaked at $75 US a barrel in early July, causing gas prices to rise, but while it's gone down to $68, pumps have not followed suit. And Lethbridge gas reached a record $42.9 liter last month and has stayed consistent. There were no injuries in a bizarre South Lethbridge collision. At around 2 p.m. Tuesday, Lethbridge police pulled up to a collision on 13th Street and 9th Ave South, finding the car suspended on a pole. Police says 2 vehicles that collided, pushing one of the vehicles somehow onto a nearby pole, and they say alcohol is not to be believed to be a factor, and the investigation is still ongoing. Those are just a few of the stories we've been covering this week. To stay up to date on the latest local and regional news, head over to lethbridgenewsnow.com or find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our Lethbridge News Now mobile app. If you have any stories or topics that you like us to follow, well, send us a message. Thanks for watching, and tune in next Friday for another edition of The Weekly with me, Connor Gunn. Have a great weekend.